Hello, everyone. Should be live on both YouTube and Twitch for the first time ever. Super exciting. We won't drag everybody through the long stroke intros this time around, but I'm Kolby, co-hosting this here show podcast with Sam. And we have our good friend Evan Hirschberg on today, Compositing Supervisor. Worked with on quite a few shows. We're going to take a look at his reel. We're going to take a look at some ultraviolet breakdowns. Um, and yeah, it'll be good. Sam, what you got?
Yeah, I think you covered it all there. But Sam Clater, co-host with Colby. Don't think we have a name for the show yet, but we'll figure it out eventually. Like Colby said, we got Evan on here, originally from California, current BR resident though, representing the 225 right now. You you got started at Bake Studios. You worked at Mammal. You worked at Crafty Apes. Did I leave any place off? You work anywhere else?
No, that was pretty much it. Started off with the internship at this place called Baked Effects in Culver City. It's a film studio. I think they do TV as well. And yeah, they're kind of close to Sony and Blur and those other studios. But that's
Yeah.
basically where I started.
Didn't you work in-house for like Marvel or something like that at some point?
I did, yeah. It was kind of like a subcontract with Mammal, and they basically kind of just had us go work in-house at Marvel. And we did it twice. It was for two shows. The first one was Black Panther, and that one was just like less than a month or so. I was just kind of helping out. And then the next one was a few years later. We did Black Widow, and that one was for almost a year, so it was a very long time, and it was a mountain of work, but great experience. Really cool place to work, and
You
yeah.
rather you
Um,
rather work for a vendor or you rather work in-house for a studio?
It doesn't really matter to me as long as, we're doing cool work and interesting work and making clients happy, you know, that's all that really matters to me. But
Nice.
yeah, it was a great experience.
Nice. Did you go to school for visual effects or anything? How'd you get into it initially? Where would your interest start?
Uh, so I kind of fell into it. So basically, when I went to school, I went to Cal State Northridge,
Hmm.
and I took computer animation classes.
Nice.
So that was basically, it was character modeling, texturing, rigging, weighting, and character animation.
A little bit of everything.
So yeah, a little bit of everything, and it was all using Maya. So they definitely learned a lot using Maya with those courses, and also learned that that wasn't what I wanted to do.
Nice.
It was great to learn. Got a great like foundation of how to use Maya and everything like that. Use the graph editor,
Nice.
material editor, and all those things. Um, but I didn't really want to get into character animation, although I thought it was cool. It just wasn't really for me.
Yeah.
Um,
You
but
either love animation or you hate animation. I don't think there's any gray area on that front.
yeah, I mean it was cool, but it wasn't really for me. Although it did lead me to experimenting with dynamic effects using Maya,
Nice.
which I actually really loved. I thought it
Me?
was just fascinating. And I started kind of experimenting with the dynamic systems in Maya,
Hmm.
end particles, things like that, which then led me to plugins, things like Fume Effects, Krakatoa, Frost, started using Max, and kind of just fell down the rabbit hole there. And those programs were really awesome to me. I started really concentrating on doing effects work, and that's kind of where I geared my demo reel towards
Hmm.
my student work and things like that. Um, but the way I kind of fell into compositing was I kind of just applied everywhere, and the studio that reached back out to me was Baked Effects, and they had a visual effects internship. And when I got there, they basically just said, "Hey, we use Nuke. Um, And at the time, I really didn't know anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I knew I really wanted to be part of the industry. So I was willing to learn and do, everything I could to just stay on top of it and get myself in the door.
Totally.
So yeah, and it turns out, I really enjoyed compositing once I kind of got the hang of it. I loved it, so I just kept rolling with that.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So you're a supervisor now. You're a compositing supervisor. Obviously started as an artist. What's been the biggest change moving into supervision, or the one thing that like caught you off guard moving into that side of the visual effects work from the artist side?
Well, it was definitely the artist management. That was a huge change for me. As an artist, you're friendly with your coworkers and peers and things like that. You don't really have to worry about, morale of the team, shot assignments, things like that. Um,
Yeah.
People's kind of capabilities, what their specialties are, also what their weaknesses are. So managing a team, you kind of see a lot of that, and you
Mm,
kind of see a lot of the strengths and weaknesses, and where people are the best fit. So, and trying to keep everyone happy was a huge challenge. So,
sure.
that was definitely different, but great experience also.
That's great.
Let's check
Uh,
out some of this reel.
yeah, let's take a look at the reel. We'll talk through some of the shots, some of the shows you worked on. Wait, we got music here. Oh
Sure.
yeah. Yeah, crank up the music.
Yeah, this reel is kind of a mishmash of old and new things, but
It's awesome.
yeah, really cool projects.
You want to watch through it once, and then we can come back and talk about some specific shots.
Yeah, let's check it all out. I
Sure.
don't know if I watched it all the way through.
What?
Some good old fog.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched it like 10 times already.
Hey, I'll make you feel
Nice.
bad, guys. Hey,
I was
there's some
actually
Garfield.
thinking about this while we were watching it. Did you do these breakdowns for the shots, like the shot with the car and like it coming apart?
But yeah, I did
Yeah.
almost all the breakdowns. I think maybe there was like one or two that I didn't do, but
Nice.
majority of them, yeah, I did all.
Yeah. Why didn't you do a breakdown for that bottom shot?
I think I might. I think I did actually.
Okay.
There's a lot of Iron
Um,
Claw tees in there. Summer
but yeah,
22nd.
I'm still waiting on those breakdowns. I don't know if I'll get them actually, but we'll see.
Gotcha.
Yeah, some great stuff. Some
Yeah.
There we go.
Got a breakdown reel of this we can watch for sure.
hmm
When'd you work on Fury?
Oh, that was like one of the first projects I worked on back in 2014 or so, around there.
Nice.
Yeah, and that was a big deal back then for me.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Kiwi Bear wants to know what happened in the elevator door shot.
Well, you should know he was sitting right behind me when I did it.
Why don't you just tell us, Kevin? Let's look at it. Let's look at it. Wait, where is it?
Yeah, somewhere.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, so this shot was very challenging. So you can pause it maybe at the start of the shot. So that's basically where the doors were for the length of the shot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they wanted the doors to close on her as she turns around,
Nice.
but there really just wasn't much to work with. So yeah, it was just essentially a lot of paint work to build out the doors.
Nice.
And I, built out one side at a time, and then kind of mirrored it and made paint changes for variation, things like that. And then ran the animation of the doors closing. And the challenging part about this really was that there wasn't much to work with to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And also, the lens distortion in the shot was pretty heavy. And there's also kind of a weird perspective of the doors. So they're kind of bowed to start, um, which made it a little tricky to have them close and be even and keep all of the
Mm-hmm.
perspective of the doors looking right, like how they should be. So I essentially built two sets of doors and did like a blend between the two as they're closing.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was
How long did
definitely
the shot take?
what's that
How long did the shot take?
How many
to do it.
hours did you log to this shot?
I mean, it
Yeah, how
probably
many
took
hours were logged in the
me
shot?
probably a good 40. I mean, at least a week.
Nice.
It was very challenging, and it went through a lot of iterations too. So it was one of the longer ones of the show, but I think it turned out really good. So pretty happy with it.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool. You have a favorite shot in your reel?
Uh, it's like choosing your favorite kid. They're all my favorites.
I've got a
So
favorite kid.
Don't kid, Evan. You don't have a favorite.
no, it was actually really challenging to keep the reel to 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I've been working in the industry for almost 10 years, so I have so many shots that I would just love to put in there,
Mm-hmm.
but they just didn't make the cut. But yeah, if I used all my shots, I'd probably have an hour-long reel.
Yeah,
So
that's really
what are
impressive.
like your criteria for adding a shot to your reel?
Um, there really isn't one. I just wanted to show off really the most impressive work, keep people interested. Um, a lot of shots I don't have breakdowns for as well. Um, so don't usually like to use a lot of shots without breakdowns, although sometimes you just have to. And they're really cool shots, so why not? But I do like having the breakdowns, so it's nice to use when they're available. But if not, put it in anyway. If it's a
Do you
cool
think
shot.
about titles at all while you're putting stuff on your reel? Or are you like, this was a popular movie, I should probably put the shot on my reel?
Sometimes, and sometimes like you'll get really big actors like in a shot, and it's cool to have those really big actors in your
Brad Pitt's
shot.
face on your reel.
Yeah, but like maybe the work's not super impressive, so it's like,
Mhm.
well, I'd like to have this big name in my reel, but the work was kind of whatever, or I didn't really do that much. Um, and also like I have a lot of shots that I worked on that were like previs or look dev. And as much as I'd love to put those on the reel, you don't really want to like step on anyone's toes or anything like that. Um, so yeah, I tried to keep it to just shots that I kind of finalized on my own and have breakdowns for, or just very interesting shots, and work with those. But yeah,
Sure.
it's definitely a work in progress, and I think it always will be. So as I get more shots and shuffle things around, it'll just kind of evolve over time.
Sure. Yeah. Well, yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah.
If you're not making cooler work every year,
What this dragon horse stuff? What was that from?
So this was a Chinese film called Azura, and we worked on that for God, almost a year. A lot of CG work. I did a lot of effects work in this as well. I don't know if you can maybe pause it on one of those frames, but I did like see that fountain right there in the kind of bottom left corner.
mm-hmm.
Um, so that was featured a lot in this movie. I just have the one shot for this reel, but essentially they wanted like a backwards running fountain.
Hmm.
So trying to think of how that would kind of come together. Kind of had to come up with a technique to make it all work and look like it's running backwards. It kind of had this sinister vibe to it. It's what they wanted.
What software did you use
What
for
do
So
you
that?
use for the effect stuff
Yeah.
for it?
I used Maya and Phoenix FD.
Cool.
So pretty easy to use software. Makes doing fluids fairly simple. It's fairly quick too. I really like using it. And the interesting about those shots, so to get it to run backwards, instead of simulating it in a way where like gravity's reversed and you have all these weird things going on, I essentially reversed the shot and tracked it backwards, and then just ran the simulation forwards, and then reversed it back in comp so that it tracked along with the shot and played backwards essentially.
Nice.
So yeah, that was kind of a fun thing to do, and it worked really well. So happy with
That's
it.
cool. When you're
Yeah.
doing effects stuff now, is Phoenix still like your go-to, or like what's your go-to these days?
That yeah, probably is my go-to. Not super up to speed with Houdini or anything like that. So yeah, that
Have you
would
looked into
probably
Embergen yet?
what that.
Have you looked into Embergen yet?
No, I want to. That one doesn't do fluids though. It just does smoke and fire at the moment, right?
Well, they
So
got Liquid Gen. Did Liquid Gen come out yet? Does anybody know if Liquid Gen came out?
I'm not
I
sure.
don't think I don't think so. I'm not sure. I'm really interested in the stuff. Like I know
Oh, we were talking
you
about
can
this
get really
today.
fast. Yeah.
GeoJet is a thing now, a geometry generator. So something else they're working on.
Yeah.
Well, and
Definitely
Liquid
like
Gen has to be
that.
coming out soon if it hasn't come out yet, because like they've been hyping it up so much. I
Yeah.
know it was like a winter release or something like that. If anybody
Yeah, it
knows
should be
that's
cool.
watching right now, let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna be like, I'm using Liquid Gen right now.
Yeah.
I kept talking about Terminator set rebuilding.
Yeah. No Liquid
You want
Gen
to
yet.
watch the Ultraviolet reel now?
Yeah, let's take a look at the ultraviolet reel.
Sure.
We'll go through some shots in there.
Was Ultraviolet, was that the first one you were comp soup on?
So Oracle was, I guess, kind of like the test bed for me.
Gotcha.
That was like technically the first show, I think. Um, but yeah, Ultraviolet was like the first really big project that I was able to comp soup for. And
Gotcha.
there
Missed
was
opportunity. We should put the Oracle stuff on here.
Yeah. We do have, well, it was on a Baton Rouge. We would probably have to get it updated, but there was some Oracle stuff, which, fun fact, that was a quick release to HBO. Some random little movie we shot right in the middle of COVID in New Orleans. And
Did you
just like
watch it yet?
I did watch it. They like silently released it to HBO. Like, who told us? Oh, Arvid chimed in on the chat and was like,
Arvid, yeah.
"Hey,
You can always rely on Arvid to find that
yeah,
stuff.
it's on HBO." It's like, what? Like nobody knew
Yeah,
anything about that
yeah. How did you
happening
find
at
that?
all.
It was random.
Yeah. So that was your first show as a comp soup. Um,
Yeah.
and then so Ultraviolet was your second.
Yeah, I think so.
Nice.
And
And
that
that was a
was
much larger show.
yeah.
How many
I think
shots did you end up doing?
oh, personally,
Well,
God,
on
I
the
don't
whole show, how many were on the whole show? Do you know?
over 1,000, right? I mean, that was
Yeah.
what, 1,300 or something like that.
Yeah, definitely over
Um,
1,000. It was a big show.
yeah. And I think wasn't it like supposed to be much smaller, but then it kind of blew up into this huge thing.
Yeah.
I don't know who thought it was going to be small. Whenever you say superhero show,
Yeah.
it's going to have a lot of VFX.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do remember what you're saying. Like somebody was saying it's going to be a smaller show.
Yeah, I mean, I did work on another kid's superhero show called Mind Med a long time ago,
Nice.
and that was nowhere near the scope that this one was. There was some cool work, though. I mean, there were some interesting things, but yeah, this was just much larger in every way.
Yeah. Yeah, for a Disney Channel show, I mean, there's a lot of effects in this thing. It wasn't a Disney Plus show; it was a straight up Disney Channel show. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Nice. Those shots were so cool.
And a lot of time talking about this gumball shot.
Yeah.
Oh no, Cascada. How'd she get on this reel?
Nice. Cool. Any shot in particular you want to take a look at on here? Or any one that was your favorite?
Probably those. Well, that one was cool.
Oh yeah,
The
this
foot.
was a great one, the foot one. I thought this one turned
Yeah,
out really cool. All green.
yeah.
It sucks we don't have a breakdown of this one, but it was all in green screen, layered, stacked in the room. Tell me, what? I mean, outside of the green screen, what kind of stuff did you have to do to that shot? What was your process?
Um, well, we had to kind of play with the focal lengths on the camera to do the what is it called? The dolly zoom.
Hmm.
So the dolly zoom was a popular effect, I think, made famous by like Jaws or something, right? Or they kind of like pulled in
Yeah.
They
the
call it the
focal
Jaws
length
effect,
changes.
but Hitchcock claims it.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of people know what you're talking about though if
Yeah,
you say
if
Jaws
you say the
too.
Jaws camera movie, yeah.
But yeah, so that's essentially what we were going for. Is kind of zoom in and playing with the focal length, things like that.
Yeah.
And then yeah, kind of did some vignetting around the shot, dropped the saturation, add some chromatic aberration, bunch of glows, things like that. And I think I even added some like floaty particles in there that I just did like a quick simulation and nuke. Um, just for like some atmosphere as the kind of like slows down and goes into this effect.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, I think it definitely added to it. But yeah, really fun shot to work on. Um,
Yeah, that's
a little
really cool.
tricky, but yeah, it turned out cool.
How many
Um,
people worked on that shot?
That was just Evan. Yeah, you
the
did that one yourself.
yeah, I think I was the only one who touched it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Um, yeah, that was a cool one.
Is this the show you went to set for? What show did you go to set for?
Me, I went for Ironclaw like one day.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And you loved it, right?
It was so much fun. We were there for hours and hours and hours. Probably phone ran out of batteries. We were there so long.
So, and I know you weren't necessarily like crazy about talking about this, but I think you should because I feel like a lot of people think they're gonna like being on set, but you realized you're not crazy about being on set. Am I right?
It's just I mean it was cool. It was great to experience, so don't get me wrong. It was an awesome experience to see everything, like how it's all put together in camera and everything like that, and to see all the different positions that everyone's doing, running around like crazy.
All the
Uh,
hurrying up and waiting, very exciting.
yeah, yeah. So that was really cool to see. Now to do that every day, it's a lot of work and very long hours. And yeah, it just seems like something I wouldn't want to do, forever. Um,
Yeah. Well, and it's a
Whole
very
new
lonely
respect for
department on set,
what
right?
people on set.
Wait, say it again, Sam.
I was just saying a whole new respect for what the people have to do on set, right?
Oh yeah.
yeah, I mean, they really put in a lot of work and they're there a very long time, what, like 12, 14-hour days sometimes, things like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of like standing around, moving around. Even the actors, like when they were doing those wrestling moves, like this one guy probably got slammed like 20 times in a row. Like his back must have been hurting. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So, but very cool to see. I'm glad I got to go. I would do it again, if I had the opportunity. But to do it every day for the rest of my life, you know,
Yeah.
maybe I'll stick to compositing.
Yeah. Hey, I mean that's fair. It can be tough. It's definitely long hours for sure, but
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, one of the things that's super frustrating for me when I'm on set is like there's all the other stuff you have to do from the office, from a computer.
right.
And then even when you have time in between takes or like in between setups, you don't have enough time to like open up a laptop, fire up a hotspot, start doing technical work, and then make sure you're in the right place at the right time on set. So like when you're
Yeah.
on set, you're on set. You have to be like fully on set. But for guys like us, you still have to respond to messages, you still have to respond to emails. Like people expect you to be able to handle your office work while you're on set too.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It can be tough. Yeah.
So definitely don't envy that level of responsibility. But Colby, I mean, you do an amazing job at that. So
Oh,
that's
thanks.
off to you.
Thanks. Yeah, I enjoy set work, but yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat. It's tough to do like an entire show straight through, start to finish on set. But
Yeah.
I mean, what's your goals after comp soup, and what do you want to do?
Well, I'd like to move into, VFX soup. Um, but I know that a lot of the time to be in those kind of positions, you do have to be on set a lot of the time. So it's probably something that I'm gonna have to get more comfortable with. And
Sure.
yeah, I'm
Well,
gonna, take opportunities where I can and try to get more comfortable with it and try to move forward in my career. I think that's probably the only way to go at this point. So um, yeah,
yeah,
that's kind of
well,
where
and
I'm at.
you could say the on-set stuff is something that you have to do, but like you don't necessarily have to. Like think about the setup for this show. Like we had Ryan on set most of the time, right?
Yeah,
We
Ryan
had some other
Johnson.
people.
Shout out to Ryan Johnson.
Shout out Ryan Johnson. But we have um Colby, you were the overall soup for this. Evan, were you the only comp soup on the show, or did we have another one?
We split the show with Vancouver.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think Donald was in charge and comp souping for that
Yeah. Shout out to
that time.
Donald, Vancouver office.
yeah, and yeah, we had days where we had multiple units and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
this is like a pretty big team. I was working on this one.
Yeah, it was a big
yeah. I
show.
think what at one point we probably had like 30, 40 people working on the show simultaneously between offices. It was a lot, maybe
Yeah.
more, right, Kobe?
Yeah, probably. I don't remember the exact count, but yeah, it was a big show. I mean, what are you most proud of out of this show? Like, if any particular challenge that you were like, man, I'm glad we did that, or shot, or type of
Uh,
shot.
I mean, this running effect was pretty cool. That was cool to put together. I think just
What
like
was the
developing. Go ahead.
Yeah, what was the development for that shot, for that effect? Like, what was the process for getting that proved and turn it into what we're seeing here?
Yeah, well, it was just a lot of look dev, like everything else. So a lot of trial and error, throwing things at Colby and seeing what he thinks
Yeah.
about it. Sometimes he'd see something and be like, "That looks like crap," and there's no way we're doing that.
I don't say those things, Evan. How dare you?
No, he's very nice.
Colby, did you originally just verbally pitch this to the client, or did you show reference? What was the process for that?
Uh, Creatively for this show, it was a lot of fun. I mean, they let us do a lot of this look development on the front end and run with it. They had a couple of very specific, well, I guess they weren't terribly specific, but like the streak for the super speed. Um, One of the references that they gave us initially was the in on Netflix. Like when Netflix zooms in, they really liked how it had this sort of like color streaming bars. Um,
Hmm.
so we sort of used that to model this whole like super streak look. Um, and then yeah, I mean like we used a lot of, I mean obviously a lot of Flash references. Flash does the best super speed you can find, but yeah, shout out all the
Wasn't
green
this the
screen
one
design
where like y'all
background.
did like a whole style guide for this?
Yes, we did actually. Shout out to Echo Tango and our friends over there. They we did a lot of these like very, there's actually none in this breakdown reel, but we did a lot of these like Scott Pilgrim-y comic book style like explosions and every character had their own specific color palette and design. And Echo Tango helped us design a lot of that motion graphic work and did a lot of it on this show. And um, so we put together this really cool like style guide or this look Bible basically of all their color palettes and what their reactions look like whenever they make impacts, like that very like old school Batman and Robin, pow, whatever type thing.
Yeah,
I wish we
yeah,
had some
that's
in this
pretty
breakdown,
cool.
but we don't have any in here.
Is it Is that something where like you made a physical booklet for it and like you went and put it on the director's desk and you're like,
No, but
hey,
we
take a
should
look
have.
at this?
We actually should still do that. Print it out. That'd be like a cool little collector's item from the show.
Yeah.
Put it in the
I saw it was
office.
a PDF and you just sent it and you're like, hey, do you like
Yeah,
this? Do you not like this?
yeah. And mostly it was to like help people, especially like on an episodic, they rotate directors every episode. It was really helpful to guide those directors and say, well, this is what's established, this is what we're looking for, and it really helped them with the vision of it.
That's cool. Did other
So it's
departments
real.
do stuff like that? Did other departments say like, hey, this is like the rules of this world we've built?
Well,
And this is what
costumes
this.
certainly, right?
Yeah.
Costumes definitely had one. I'm sure our department has one. I feel like production designers have that on every show to some degree. But,
You know,
but yeah.
It's weird, but like sometimes those little things that are not really standard in our business end up being the most valuable. Like those style guides are like when I know other times we've done things that are basically just like idea pitches in video form. And things like that are not standardized, but they really help get an idea across, get something approved.
For
Or
sure.
like if you just say it, doesn't necessarily get approved, but when you give it
yeah.
something to look at and sign off on, it can help a lot.
So, Ultraviolet Black Scorpion, how do you feel about the show, Evan? Did you watch it?
I
You have not
watched.
watched every episode? What's wrong with you?
I got about halfway through. I did enjoy it. I still plan on finishing it at some point, but yeah, I mean, it's a fun show. It's made for kids, so that's the
So you
audience.
love it? Yeah.
But that,
So you love it?
I love it.
Because you're a
Yes,
kid at heart.
Yeah.
I watch it every day, actually, just the
Yeah.
whole way through.
Well, it very much had that like Disney Channel vibe about it, but it was a fun show, man. I enjoyed it. I
Yeah,
watched
I
the whole
thought
thing.
the jokes were funny and everything, and the visual effects were great.
Yeah.
I think the color was a little weird at some points, but overall, it was a great show,
Yeah.
and great experience for me. Being able to kind of look dev a lot of these looks and make templates
Yeah.
for the art to use was a great experience. And just supervising in general was like a first big project. Like it
Yeah.
was really
Managing
great.
that sort of workload is it's always a challenge. You did a great job.
It was. Thank you very, very much. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and a lot of the like bad guys, they all had these like unique powers too. Well, I guess every character had unique powers.
Yeah.
Um, so
Oh,
developing the
wait.
look for each one of
Speaking of
those was
developing looks, let's pause. Tell the story
oh,
of the Cascada transformation on the rooftop
I
and how
don't
that
want to
went
talk
down.
about it.
This
Why
is
is
a
it
good one to
on the
go out
reel?
on. Tell this story.
Yeah, this is a great story to close on. I mean, everybody needs to know how you got your nickname Glitter King, you know? Maybe everybody's not aware, but
We
that's
weren't going
Evan's
to talk about that.
official nickname.
All right, so there's a character in Cascada, and they wanted her to have this kind of glitter effect power, kind of shimmering, sparkling effect, and it was, to be honest, it was a struggle. It was kind of hard to come up with something that the client would really like and what they were trying to convey, what they wanted, and it was a little tricky. We did come up with something, and it looked decent. And then there's a moment where she transforms. She takes off her mask. She's at the top of the building. It's very pretty. The sun's out. There's a god ray over her face.
Hmm.
Very pretty shot. And she takes off her mask and she transforms back into human. And we were trying to find a good way to dissolve basically that transition. So
Is
I
that
took
shot
a
on
bet.
here?
It's not on here,
You
no.
Oh
what's that?
man,
He asked if the shot
I
was on
didn't
here,
know
but
if the
it's
shot
not.
was on here.
Oh yeah, we should put it on here.
Yeah, we should. Well, we talked about that being like the opening shot on your reel is what needed to happen, and I see it's not
Right. I
on
mean,
there, so I'm disappointed at it.
right. I mean, it's a work in progress, like I said, so it can
Yeah.
still get on there.
But yeah,
Uh,
it was a questionable transition where you're like, all right, I don't know if this is going to work or not. Showed it to the client. They absolutely loved it. It was their favorite thing of the entire show. And we were like, all right, hell yeah, we're going with it.
yeah, I mean
That was funny.
it worked. It was essentially like a glitter tornado of new particles,
Yeah, Glitter
and
Tornado is a good name for it.
There you
yeah, we
go.
made a
And
few
that's the
different names for
origin
the
story of the Glitter King.
Yeah.
All right.
Kevin,
Well,
Kevin in
Evan, you
chat.
got
What do you mean when you say Echo Tango?
yeah.
Stands for
Echo
Echo,
Tango is
Eric, and
you
Tommy.
good. Yeah.
Oh, you do the Echo Tango pitch.
Echo Tango is a local company that we work with frequently, and they do great work. They do a lot of design work, they do commercial and advertising work, they're known for video work, and we use them for VFX work occasionally. Really good at helping pitch stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's pretty much it for this stream, right? Do you
Yeah.
guys have any Evan, you got anything else you want to talk
Oh
about?
wait.
Or you
Yes,
think
go Evan. You go. You go.
Well, no, I mean I'm good. I think we covered a lot of stuff. Overall, it was a very fun project, great learning experience. I'm super happy to have worked on it. So good stuff.
All right.
yeah,
I'm gonna
if
start.
people want to get in touch with you,
Yeah.
where do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, well, you can hit me up on Instagram or LinkedIn. Um, all down there, I think, right? So yeah, definitely get in touch. Check out the reel if you want. Let me know.
Very
Cool.
cool. It was good chatting with you, Evan. I'm gonna start closing these out with my favorite interview closing question. What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Of all time, probably The Matrix.
Nice. All right. We don't have to
Which
elaborate.
one?
Okay, we're gonna elaborate.
Okay.
Sorry. Just this
But
one clarifying question. The original?
oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
Okay. Cool.
the
All
remake
right.
I'm not happy with, so we'll just
All
leave it
right.
at that. But yeah, the original was incredible. Loved it.
Nice.
Especially for the time. But
Hmm.
that's a conversation for another time.
Yeah. Well, thanks for hopping on, Evan. It was great chatting with you, man.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.
Cool.
All
Bye,
right.
everybody.